Today, I would like to talk with you about how to see whether at work, at your company, your startup, your middle big company, your corporation, are people checking out? Because when people burn out, then we notice this because they call in ill, they go to the doctor, and they get burnout, leave. But that doesn't mean that everybody's working is present and dedicated. And I'm quite surprised that we don't talk about this a lot. I mean, most of the time work still gets done, weirdly enough. Meetings still happen. But imagine all the time and money you would save as a company and how more loyal and motivated people are if they are engaged. And often companies seem to think, yeah, but we have all these things in place. Maybe there's a team for psychological safety. Maybe there's pizza Fridays with a beer. And maybe there's team building exercises. But I don't feel like these things really engage anybody. And here are a few examples of how I believe that you can spot that people are checking out mentally. Very practical ones. Are people coming in on time when they said they would? Is everybody working always from home if they can? Do people come prepared to meetings? Do people know why they are in meetings? Are people always sitting by themselves, faced away from everybody else? Do people share their opinions and their ideas on their expertise? Do people always say everything's fine, everything's fine? If so, then there's a high chance that people are in some way or form disengaging. Now, obviously, it's really hard to tell because some people are quiet people. They are introverted. They just prefer to work by themselves. I believe also that one of the main reasons why management, C-level people don't see people checking out is because they're working themselves. And also they want to believe the people. So when there is a little survey going around, how's everybody feeling? They get the results back and everybody's fine. So they go, well, we did the research, it shows everybody's happy. But I really don't believe it's that simple. Unfortunately, a lot of companies have this culture where if you would say you're not happy with where you are, then the conversation happens of, are you then at the right place? Should you be here? And to give like an analogy, if let's say you have a kid and the kid says, I'm not happy with where I am, you wouldn't start discussing immediately for the kid to leave the family. Especially if at a company you say, oh, we are like a family or we are like a community. If it's that simple to start talking about maybe you should move on, then you clearly don't have the culture that you believe that you have or would like to have. So I feel really strongly that in order for you to know whether people are disengaging, they're checking out, you as a leader, as C-suite, have to engage. And for that, you need to meet them. For that, your door needs to be open. I've worked at places where the manager had their door open. They would say this and their door would officially be open. But what they didn't have was time. So people would disengage. People were promised a study process where they could use hours to work on themselves and their expertise. And there was budget for this, but nobody was ever motivating them to do it. Actually, they were always so overwhelmed with work that they really didn't have time to do any of the studying. And I think that subconsciously management was like, hey, great, they're working and they're not spending this money. But then they'll disengage. If a person has skills but they're in the wrong function, they'll disengage. And then it's up to you as management. Do I want to school them? Do I want to help them find the right position in my company where they get to shine. And in this way, your role as a manager is very much that, it has a similarity to being a parent. You need to be attentive and present in order for people to engage. And the beauty is that if you do, you'll see a difference. It'll create loyalty. Because people don't work for money. They work for you in a creative and innovative way if they feel at home. Now, you cannot fake a home the same way that if I have a family and I just built a really nice place with all the things, it's not enough. We intuitively all understand that. What we want from our teachers, parents, leaders, mentors, is we want to be seen, understood, and supported, actively supported. That's how people stay engaged. If you don't, they will disengage. And then in the meantime, you're burning through money because these people are not working the hours that they say they're working. These people are not bringing their best game, so you're not getting the best results. And I think this is a complete missed opportunity. Eventually, that will lead to burnout. Eventually, on the long run, people will leave because of this, and then you're also spending money on that. And I mean, the research is actually really clear on it. About 60% of the people are checked out. 60%, that's a lot. Also at your company, and you don't think that's true. You're like, not at my company, but for that, you would have to be in the moment present with these people, and you have to pick up. If this person says they're happy, are they happy? If I would give them the freedom to do what they want to do, what would they be doing here? What would they innovate for me? And then you'll say, yeah, but it will create a whole different problem because then I have another spot open. Yes, but you don't want that person there anyway. So let's say that somebody's in HR, but they'd rather do sales, and they have an interest in learning this. Invest in that. That will make them engaged again. And then you find the person that actually wants to be here. And actually, maybe in your company, somebody else would actually want to be there. And of course, these are really complex things and they take a lot of time. But the investment will create more value because it will create loyalty. And eventually, it also leads to more sales. I'm really curious to hear what you think, whether what I say has a truth in it. The research is very clear about it, but do you feel as a manager, as C-suite, as a leader, that this is happening right now, also at your company? Thank you for listening. I look forward to making another video for you next week. And let's create a better world through creating better leaders.